What is up, everybody? This is day one of our San Diego trip. The game just wrapped up. Padres against the Rays. What a day for us, Alex. This has been quite the day, quite the experience already. We were dressed up in Star Wars costumes. We were at a beer festival out there. A great game and a great day around Major League Baseball. So we're going to talk all about that. This is going to be a blast. Let's get to it.
It's a blowout. 8th inning, 10-3. Bases are loaded for Verlander, who waits out a real pitch. He swings, and it's a high fly ball. Deep center field. It is gone. Home run. And a huge bat flip to celebrate. All right, Ben, start the show already.
Day one is in the books. Alex, our day started with us driving down here, the great drive down to San Diego, which you told me would take 3 hours. It did not take 3 hours.
Like I said, always plan for 3 hours, and when you make it under 3 hours, you take it as a win. Because you never know once you get to Oceanside, Carlsbad. I've made that drive over 100 times, and I get so nostalgic every time.
Yeah, you went to college down here, and you're from L.A.
And while I was in school, I started working up in LA, so I would do that drive sometimes 5 times a week back and forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I have done that drive hundreds of times, but it's just so fun to be here. And there was such an electricity to today and the game today.
It was great. I loved the game. That was certainly electric. Our evening before then was awesome. So I'm really excited about this entire trip. Day one has been awesome. We came down. Tomorrow's going to be awesome.
We're doing a meet and greet.
Meet and greet at Bub's.
Yep.
2:30. If you're in the San Diego area or California, just make the trip. Can't be that far. Just drive on down to Bub's. It's right near the ballpark. And it'll be 2:30 at Bub's at the ballpark.
Yeah, and come hang out with us. But today, let's get started with today. Because
Yeah.
we got things started with the hometown kid, Joe Musgrove. And we had an epic conversation.
Oh, my God. Joe is awesome. So I have a bit of history with Joe. We were drafted around the same time, ended up playing in the minor leagues together. And our first conversation when we got here, the first thing we did was talk to Joe Musgrove, and he's going to come out as a full episode Sunday morning. That'll be out. He's such a good guy, a great conversation with him. We have a clip of that now where Alex asked him about getting his ears spondyled in the playoffs last year. So let's play that clip from Joe now.
So when you're on the mound facing the Mets, the umpire stops the game to come and give your ear a nice little massage there. We were hysterically laughing. Just take us through what was going through your mind as this is going down.
Yeah, I mean, I was so locked in that moment. That was, the most stressful preparation I've ever had for a start, Not only the fact that it's an elimination game and our season's hanging in the balance, but I'm the hometown kid that gets the ball in the biggest situation of the year and a do-or-die game, and just the emotion going through that game. It's something I haven't told many people, but somebody, got a hold of my cell phone number, and that got passed around a little bit, so I got 20, 30 calls in the middle of the night. I turned my phone off. My hotel phone started ringing, just people trash talking and telling me how much I'm going to suck the next day. So that rattles me up a little bit.
This was the night before.
This was the night before I started, like 2, 3 in the night. I unplugged the hotel phone. It was just a lot of stress leading up to that start. But in that moment, man, I was so focused and so locked in. I didn't feel like there was anything that could take me off, my game. But I didn't have anything to worry about. I knew I had nothing for them to find, so they were coming out. In the moment, you're so aware of everything, like hyper aware that I saw it as a tactic to throw me off or switch up the rhythm, and I just kind of tried to focus on it and then worry about that stuff after the game. I think it's kind of ironic they've had 2 guys get popped since then, but I mean, it's baseball. I get it. As a manager, he's doing everything he can to give his team a chance and keep them in the game. So, I don't hate it. It's what it is.
It looked like it locked you in. It motivated you even more.
Yeah, I mean, my stuff got better from that moment on. So, for sure. Maybe that's what I needed, that last little push to get those last 6 outs.
So I really enjoyed the entire conversation with Joe. He's such a good human being. So obviously that'll be a part of the interview, but we talk about today actually was the 9-year anniversary of Tony Gwynn passing away. He's born and raised in San Diego, was a huge Padres fan. We talk about what Tony Gwynn means to him, his off-season trip to Antarctica, which was for charity, but like
so epic.
it was, I loved it. So that'll come out on Sunday morning. That full conversation with Joe Musgrove will come out.
Sunday Cup of Joe.
I see what you did there.
I know, thank you. I can't take credit for that. That was our producer, Bartley. Now, if you guys are just listening and not watching to us, I just have to let you know we are doing this show right now on the field, and the grounds crew is behind us vacuuming all of the dirt. So if you hear this noise, we're in the elements.
They have the loudest vacuum of all time right behind us, so that's what you hear.
We had to address the situation, but they're slowly moving further away from us.
You know what I need to address, Alex, now that I think about it? Alex and I dressed up as Star Wars characters today. It was Star Wars night here. I think it's Star Wars weekend here at the ballpark. So Alex and I dressed up as Star Wars characters. I was Darth Vader, and I had like an 18-piece costume to put on. I had the most elaborate costume of all time, and Alex had leggings and a hoodie for her costume, and I'm still pissed off about this.
Okay. We picked out our costumes like 2 days before we left. I wanted to be Mandalorian, but my costume wasn't going to arrive in time. The only thing that was going to arrive in time was the Mandalorian sweatshirt. So I got the Mandalorian sweatshirt, and I did my best to make out the rest of the costume, which is leggings and boots. But, I did pick up a Baby Yoda, Grogu. So I think that kind of counts for something.
You have to admit my costume was one of the best we saw out here today.
Hands down. Every person we were walking by wanted to take photos with you.
It was great.
What are you, Darth Verlander?
Darth Verlander.
All right.
I was Darth Verlander for the day, and but got a bunch of content out there for Star Wars night. So that was a great start to our day. Well, middle part of our day.
Middle part of our day. But this was an epic crowd here tonight. Even though it was a tough loss here, it was a sellout at Petco, and people were here like 2 hours early, raging in the outfield.
The 26th sellout of the season, which, get this,
Yeah.
that's a franchise record for the San Diego Padres. It's the middle of June, and they already have their franchise record for home sellouts. And honestly, I know the Rays took the lead early, end up winning 6-2. The Padres end up at least having a fighter's chance at the end.
There was a moment there.
Tatis comes up with a bases loaded tying run there in the last inning, but by and large, the Rays were in control of this entire game. Shane McClanahan threw really well. Randy Rosarena, a big 3-run homer. Isaac Paredes hit a homer. But I couldn't stop thinking about this, Alex. Even though the Rays were in control of this game, at one point I looked up, it was the 7th inning. The Padres are down 5 runs. And Ha-Sung Kim hits a single, and the crowd was going insane. They were really, really awesome.
Everybody was on their feet. But as you mentioned, this is a franchise record for sellouts. It's only June. This is what happens when ownership invests in their team, and you put together a lineup like the Padres have right now. Okay, maybe they got off to a rocky start. There was extremely high expectations. We actually talked to Joe about this, and he said they really changed their mindset and their mentality about it. And instead of thinking of everybody else's expectations, they kind of had to come in and take it day by day and make their own expectations of where they are right now.
I really enjoyed you asked that question, and it was kind of on my mind. One, the first question when you think of the Padres is, how did it take so long for them to start playing good baseball? They're definitely playing better baseball now. The beginning of the year wasn't great. It's very interesting to hear him say, you kind of get caught up in all the expectations, and you think this is one of the greatest lineups ever, and there's a lot to this conversation, so this isn't spoiling much. But he basically said we got back to the little things in baseball. We hit the ball the other way. We move guys over. We know our offense is good enough to drive them in when we do that. Stop doing too much, simplified the game of baseball, and now they're back to playing better.
And you know what? Like I said, tough loss, but it was still a fun game, great atmosphere. We're going to do it again tomorrow, but let's look ahead, and let's look around the league right now, right? Because someone's leading the home run race, and his name is Shohei Ohtani, and it is looking pretty good for Ohtani right now.
22 on the year. He now leads Major League Baseball, tied with Pete Alonso at 22. He's on an absolute tear right now. This is one of the best stretches we have ever seen from Shohei Ohtani, and honestly one of the best 14-game stretches that we have seen in baseball over the last few years. That's how good he's been. But specifically the last 2 homers, he's gone in Texas, upper deck to the opposite field as a left-handed hitter. The first one he hit the other night, nobody as a left-handed batter has done what he did, hitting a ball that hard, that far to the opposite field as what Shohei Ohtani did. So I know people have told stories about Shohei's BP and how much power he has at the plate. I will forever be before I watched Shohei Ohtani take BP at the World Baseball Classic, I would have told you that the most impressive BP I've ever seen in my life is Miguel Sano at Comerica Park in Detroit. They were playing the Twins. Miguel Sano hit a ball over the fountains out in dead center field, which is like 460 feet away. Shohei Ohtani topped that. It was the best thing I've ever seen. In Miami, he was hitting balls out of the stadium off the top of the roof. So he has more power than anybody I've ever seen, more raw power. And now we're seeing him as a very good Major League pitcher this year. He's got a 3.3 ERA. He's still pitching really well as the Major League Baseball home run leader. It's just so crazy to even think about. And, Alex, you asked me the other day, is there a chance that Shohei leads baseball in home runs when all is said and done? And what did we talk about? Now, well, if you think about it, Pete Alonso's hurt. Aaron Judge is hurt. Yordan Alvarez is hurt.
And Max Muncy.
Now Max Muncy goes on the IL. So you look around the league, 5 of the top 6 guys are on the IL right now, and Shohei Ohtani is just plowing through all of them and passing them. So I really do believe we might see Shohei lead Major League Baseball in homers this year.
Especially since today, I think we found out Aaron Judge had a setback.
Yeah.
So
I have been worried ever since Aaron Boone came out and said
Days,
we'll reevaluate in a couple weeks. I mean days, and you don't just it's things are in your head for a reason. So it sucks he had a setback. Hopefully that's it was supposed to be 10 days. Hopefully this means 15 days maybe. Hopefully it's not too much longer.
See the top players in the game miss too much. But now let's switch to some other positive news because the Reds have been red hot since Ellie De La Cruz has been called up. They are 8-2 and just a half a game out of first place behind the Brewers right now.
I love the Reds.
Yeah.
I am loving the Cincinnati Reds. They have a very good starting. They have Hunter Green, who's one of the best young pitchers in the game of baseball. They have Alexis Diaz, who has 23 consecutive saves now, the longest active streak in Major League Baseball. They have all of these young guys. You mentioned Ellie De La Cruz, who is quickly becoming one of my favorite players. And you might say, Ben, you have a ton of favorite players. That is correct. I have a lot of favorite players around Major League Baseball, and Ellie De La Cruz is becoming one of them. You look around that team, you have Matt McClain, you have Jake Fraley, you have a guy in the minor leagues who I think should be called up immediately, and Encarnacion Strand, who's one of the best players in minor league baseball. So the talent isn't done. They have all of these guys that have made their debut and come up and been really good, and then guys in the minor leagues. And then you look up today, and they have the longest win streak in Major League Baseball. They're a half a game out of first place. They're playing the best baseball in that division.
They are.
I certainly believe this team has – I really do think they have what it takes to win the division. I will add one more thing here because I feel like I see so many conversations of people when they're talking about trades and the trade deadline. Everyone keeps wanting to bring up Alexis Diaz's name. Alexis Diaz ain't going nowhere, and neither are the Cincinnati Reds. They should be buyers at the trade deadline, honestly. So I'm loving this team. As you mentioned, since Ellie De La Cruz came up, 8 of 10 they've won, 6 in a row. Oh, man, the Cincinnati Reds are rolling.
Someone else who's red hot, Luis Arraez, going 5 for 5 tonight, and was the guest on our podcast this week.
It's so fitting because not only did he go 5 for 5, the guy's hitting .390 on the year now. He hit a homer tonight, his second homer of the season. The guy never hits homers. Comes on Flippin Bats, hits homers. Funny enough, we actually talked about his power. I was like, hey, I know you're a big contact guy, put balls in play. You can hit it where they're not. As the old saying goes, hit it where they ain't, you'll have success. And I asked him, come on, how much pop do you have, though? Do you have any pop? And he's like, I got pop. And now a couple days later, he's hitting a homer. So the world can calm down a bit. I know he went on a little bit of an over stretch, probably the coldest streak of his year so far. But a good way to break out of a cold streak? Go 5 for 5, and your average is immediately right back up to .390 on the season. So Luis Arraez, the hunt for 400 is still on.
I believe.
I believe.
I think you can do it.
I have one more question I need to ask you that I almost forgot to ask you.
Okay.
The San Diego Padres were wearing their City Connects tonight, right? And they're a very, very polarizing jersey. Some love them.
I told you when we picked our
Some
favorite
hate them. Do you love
City
them?
Connect, they were my favorite.
I was going to ask you what you feel about
I
it.
told you.
Producer Justin said they are the best uniforms in all of sports.
When we picked our best and worst City
Were they
Connects,
number one?
They were number one.
Wow.
San Diego Padres are my favorite City Connect jerseys.
I like them. I
love, they're my favorite colors, so why wouldn't I pick them? If they're happy, they're fun. I love it. When we showed up today, we're like, ooh, are they wearing their City Connects?
I was really hoping for like some Star Wars themed jersey. See, hold up. I'm going on a tangent before we finish up. You play in the minor leagues, I can't tell you how many jerseys. I wore jerseys in the minor leagues with Chewbacca's face, with social media emblems all over, with sunshine and like goats in the background. I'm wearing these jerseys on Star Wars night, on Sun night. Who even knew Sun night was a thing? This is Star Wars night. Can we get them in Star Wars jerseys? Can we get them in Chewbacca jerseys?
Can I get you to name 5 Star Wars characters?
Darth Vader,
Okay.
Chewbacca,
Okay.
Luke Skywalker. Oh boy.
There's 2 easy ones left on the table.
There's one with an M. Mandalorian.
Because I was Mandalorian. You got one more.
Stormtrooper.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes!
All right, that's fair. I'll buy you a beer tonight. How about that? Way
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Deal.
Hey, but we're going to do this again tomorrow. You know what we got tomorrow?
We're doing it all again.
We're doing everything. We're starting the morning off going to a brewery. We're going to have some breakfast beers, so that should be fun.
It's going to be a blast.
We're going to do a taco and burrito tour around San Diego. Before we come to the stadium, we're doing our meet and greet at Bub's at 2:30.
2:30, Bubs at the ballpark. Be there. You know what I just learned today?
What?
That Darth Vader is Luke's father.
That is
Spoiler alert.
That is embarrassing.
I didn't know.
Just learned that? That is embarrassing.
That's
And
all
how
we
did
got.
You know, you were going to take a photo with Luke, and we're like, hey, by the way, you're his father.
Yeah, the guy was like 80. How was I supposed to know I'm his dad?
That's it. You're done.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day weekend, everybody. Sunday is Father's Day. I'll come dressed as Darth Vader again, and it'll be a blast. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be another big day. This has been the Day One from San Diego podcast. Tomorrow's going to be great. Joe Musgrove drops Sunday morning. Tomorrow we're meet and greet again at Bubs at the Ballpark, 2:30. Be there. We got a lot planned. I'm going to be drinking beer apparently at 8:30, which twist my arm.
That's going to be dangerous, but have fun, right?
Well-
We're going to be drinking beer, eating tacos, eating burritos, drinking beer again at the meet and greet, and then being down here on the field talking to you. So
Yeah.
hopefully we're still standing.
And join us tomorrow to hear the loudest vacuum in the world right behind us for Day One of us in San Diego. This has been a blast. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you subscribe anywhere you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. We're also on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you can watch everything we do on YouTube at Flippin Bats Pod for all of them. Until tomorrow, my friends,